Okay. Hello, people. Welcome. These two are just chatting about old times as well, so I had to cut that short. Otherwise, we'd have missed all the good conversation. But happy to say that we've got Gifton Noel-Williams on here. So welcome. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good, thanks, man. Happy to be on. Happy to be on to talk about football and old times.
You two,
proper old times. Proper old times.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. That Corrams Fields was that was an education. That was an apprenticeship in itself. Playing over there with them big goals, mate, it's unbelievable. So you played for Thamesford.
Yeah, Thamesford. Yeah, you know, it was a bit of talent as well. If you look at all the talent that was over there at the time, there was a lot. Because if you think about those times, academy football, people only really joined academies when they were under 12s or under 13s. So exactly. Those were the times where all the best talent was at Market Road or Corrams Fields.
Market Road, mate. Oh my God.
Corrams Fields and Market Road.
Scouts would just go there, wouldn't they? Scouts would just go to Corrams Fields and Market Road.
That was the hub of North London. You want a good player in North London or East London, you go to Corrams Fields or Market Road and guarantee some ballers there. Yeah.
How old would you two have been when you was playing down here then?
So I'm older than Gifton. What are you, 40? You're 41?
41, yeah.
I'm 43.
Yes.
Yeah, it was when we was playing. I was playing over there for Chapel Boys as well. So when we were playing,
88,
88, 89. So we used to.
And that time.
They used to have 3 pitches over there, so you'd have like all the age groups playing on the same time, and it was buzzing. There were some proper teams over there.
It's proper, isn't it? Yeah, proper environment. There's some real good ballers there as well. Really good times.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, that's taking it back to the roots. So yeah, talk to us about during those moments there, because obviously your first club was Watford, right? That's what it's. So talk to us about the journey to making it to Watford.
Oh, actually journey to Watford. All right. So as we talked about, I used to play Corrams Fields. I used to play Market Road. I used to play basically. I think Mondays was Corrams Fields. Tuesday was training. Wednesdays was game for my school. Thursdays was a day off. Friday was Market Road. Saturday was my district. And Sunday was church. Right? Now I'm giving you this little story because Sunday, I remember I said Sunday was church, right? Yeah. So for the most part, some people got scouted at Market Road and stuff like that, but a lot of the scouts, they wanted to see you play 11v11 football. So they'll like you during the midweek and think, yeah, you're good, but what Sunday team do you play for? I don't play Sundays. So for that reason, no one really was that interested in me because this kid don't play Sundays. So he can't play academy football because he can't play Sundays, right? So I was just playing football, enjoying myself. And then I played for my district as well, Islington and Camden. So when I was playing for Islington and Camden, there was a player on my team called Terry Bowes. And Bowesy played for a Sunday team called Arvinsdale. Now, this team was coached by a black guy called Carl Dixon, right? Now, Carl Dixon is a legend. Like he's known by loads of people know him in the grassroots. He's the kind of guy that would pack his car up with 10 kids in there, pick everyone from their house, bring you to the match, give you all food after, and drop you home. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like a real legend in the game, like a real, when you like someone's heart, and a lot of stuff I do now to give back is because of people like him. That's why I do it. You know what I mean? Because he showed me the way, kind of thing. So I just want to let you know the story behind it. So Carl Dixon he was a scout for Watford, but he also had a Sunday team called Arvinsdale. So first of all, he wanted me to play for Arvinsdale. Now you could imagine, I went to church on Sundays. That's why I couldn't play on Sundays. My dad was a bishop, and my mum was high in the church as well. So there was no chance I'm playing on a Sunday. I don't know what Carl done or what conversation or how he sweeted at my mum, but he managed to let me play on Sundays, but he would drop me back to church by 1 o'clock.
Wow.
How he done it? I don't listen. You don't understand. At that moment, when I was younger, everybody wanted me to play because I was the only good player in the area that weren't playing for a team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted me to play Sundays. My cousin tried so many times. My mum's not having it. I don't know what Carl said to me. He come around and met with my mum and talked to my mum. I don't know what. My mum and Carl Dixon's mum know each other. So I think that might have been a little something in it. I'm not sure, man. He swindled it, basically, so I could play for Arvinsdale. So when I was playing 11v11 football, and I was playing with like boys of academy level, playing against boys of academy level, then he was like, you know what, I think I might take you to Watford because you're quite decent. Like you're actually better than I thought you was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So he brought me to Watford, and at that time, Watford had satellite programs in London. So they had the main program in Watford with all the Hertfordshire boys, and then they had a program in Brent Cross with all the little ragamuffins. Yeah, so yeah. I was part of the little ragamuffin squad that in London. So then it started from there basically, and then we used to go up and play against Watford sometimes, just to play games 2 or 3 times a year. They could have a look at us, and we used to just go and, for the most part, get in some slaps, because we was just too raw. We was a bit too raw for them. That's where it started, and then I moved up from Brent Cross. I think it was under 14s. You move up to Watford. Everyone comes together. And then, I'll let you ask me anything more. But that's how I started off at Watford as the club.
All right. So, at 18, you would have got snapped up at Watford. Is that right?
No, right. So I was 12.
Oh, 12, sorry. 12,
yeah. When this started, I was 12.
Yeah.
So I can go on to the story to my debut, but I don't want to kill your thunder.
No.
Yeah, no problem, man. All right. So I started at 12. And that was at Brent Cross. And at 14, you go to Watford. You start training at Watford.
Yeah.
So when I was we was up there for 1 year. So it ended up under 14. Yeah. A lot of us boys from London, they didn't like us because we were a bit too raw. We had fights on the train. Like it was just madness. You know what I mean? It was just, you could imagine a bunch of boys all from London, and there was about 8 of us all played for Arsenal. So we all knew each other since we were young. So we were just terrorists. I'm not gonna lie, we was terrorists at the time. I'm not gonna lie, right? So they wanted to release a lot of us, and so we had a game against Ipswich. I was talking to someone last night about this stuff. We had played a match against Ipswich. It was Ipswich away, and the train at Euston, it got delayed for 45 minutes an hour. So we phoned up and said, "Listen, we're gonna be late," and because they didn't like us anyway, they said, "No, just go home." Right? Yeah. So they were going to just go with the Hertfordshire boys. So, which is what it is, isn't it? The manager said, go home. So I called my cousin and told my cousin what happened. I said, I'm going to go home. He goes, no, you got to go to Watford, man. I said, what do you mean? Go to? He said, yeah, go to Watford. And then when you're at the stadium door, call me and then you can come home. So you could imagine me, right? I think I'm a little rude boy at that point, but my cousin is the bigger man to me, you understand? Because my dad died at 13, so he became my dad. Do you understand more or less, right? So he told me to go to Watford. I'm going Watford, innit? So all the rest of the boys went home. Me with my lone self went to Watford. Got to the stadium, called him. So like, Michael, I'm at the stadium now. Can I go home? He said, yeah, you can leave. As I leave to walk away, Kenny Jackett comes driving down the road. And he says, what are you doing there, son? So I said, well, I meant to play for the under 14s, but they left me. My train got delayed, blah, blah, blah. He said, all right, come and play for me. You can't play for the under 15s today. So I helped him with the kit, all that kind of stuff. I played for the under 15s. I scored 2 or 3 goals. And after he was like, you're not bad, son. So then I didn't see Kenny for another 2-3 months. There's rumours I'm going to get released because when I play for my own age, I'm only playing like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Do you know what I mean? The manager just don't like us, basically. That's what it is, basically, right? Yeah. So I know we're going to get released. So then Kenny takes another game against QPR because our manager was sick. And I turned it on that day. I scored about 9. Yeah,
9?
Yeah, I swear about 8-9 goals, genuinely. Like, one of the games when I was big and everything as well. I was using all my strength, all my speed. I was making sure I'm just scoring. There weren't no fancy stuff, score goals. Because I wanted Kenny to be impressed. After the game, he sat me down. He goes, you know what, son? I've heard bad things about you, but there's something about you that I really, really like. From now on, you're with me. He said, don't worry about all the outside stuff, because I was a bit of a bad boy, innit? I didn't go to school, all kind of things, you know what I mean? So he was like, you know what, I've heard a lot of bad things about you, but I'm gonna take you under my wing. And up from then, that was it. The next year I played for the under 16s for the whole season. I played for the youth team as under 15. Under 16, I played for the youth team for the whole season. And then when I was a first year scholar, Kenny gave my debut in the first team.
Wow. So your cousin, first of all, is the one to say, basically, he gave you the push because he knows well if you're going to get there, someone's going to spot you, or you're not going to turn around. You're not going to go all the way to the gates and then turn around, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
So what he's doing.
my cousin, he's passed away now. He died of brain cancer, and I don't talk about him much because when I talk about him, I start to cry. You understand? So I don't want to cry on your live screen. I'm going to go too deep about my cousin. But my cousin Michael, the biggest inspiration of my life, the biggest everything of my life. But that would be a whole hour. We could just talk about my cousin for an hour if I really wanted to, because that's not the only thing he done for me. There's many more. You know what I mean? But I don't want to cry on live tape, like on your live screen. So let's move on from that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's an amazing story though. Still, and that's how it all came about. So Kenny Jackett, he gave you the opportunity, and that's the thing as well. Like you always hear the cliche about football is a game of opinions, right? So again, the guy that was supposed to be managing you basically didn't take what kindly to you, but Kenny Jackett, who's the next manager up, is that correct? He kind of he took a line to you, brought you under his ring, and then gave you your chance, right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I work with Kenny now. He's at Portsmouth, and I go and do sessions with the strikers twice a week. And he said to me one time, not too long ago, he said, Gifton, the thing I loved about you the most growing up is that you was hungry than everybody else. And I was like, oh, I didn't really realize that. But I think maybe that's my personality. I'm just hungry. I'm hungry. I'm on it. Wherever I'm doing, I want to be the best thing. I want to be the strongest, the quickest, the best finisher, the best header, the best. I always want to be the best. And I didn't really realize that. But he said to me, your hunger gift. Your hunger is what got me through. And I think he saw something in me that was the hunger. And he forgot about all the things he's heard about me not going to school and me doing this. And he realized this kid just loves football. And he just kind of helped me and my cousin. He helped my cousin and my mum and me to tunnel that. Even I'll give you an example for Kenny. When I was under 15, as I said, I didn't want to go to school. So I used to go and train with the first team.
Yeah.
So instead of me before, I just want to go to school and I'll be at home, right? But instead of me being at home, I would just go and train with the first team. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When I mean I was a bad boy, for school-wise, I was an A student, right?
Yeah.
But I found school easy and boring. So I could stay home for 2-3 days and still be top of the class.
Right.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
my mum was like, if you don't want to go to school, don't go to school then, because your grades are still top, so don't go to school. So I started going football instead.
I'll tell you what, it's mad at some managers. It's a bit like the Ian White situation where some managers just don't like you, no matter how good you are. If you don't fit their remit of what a player should be like, it's madness. It's like there was a poll. I don't even know if you see it, Clinton, on Twitter the other day about what do you look for in a player on recruiting players? Is it reputation, personality, technical ability? And I was just like, it's technical ability all day long. It's technical ability because it's. And then, but then I think the personality comes up. I think, and it's like, no, why? Why? Because of what? Because of someone's nice in the changing room. You want to play them. You want to play them, or because someone carries the bag in for you and you want to play them. What if they're useless?
That's how the manager usually gets picked, isn't it?
You just got to play your best. You just got to play your best team. You got to play your best players.
I'm surprised that reputation wasn't the top, because that's how a lot of people pick things, from reputation. You get someone will say, "Oh, this kid played at Arsenal 5 years ago."
Yeah.
He played at Arsenal 5 years ago. Like, what about the kid who's been grafting for the last 5 years coming up? He's probably just. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's that reputation.
I'll tell you what. Jimmy Carter played for Arsenal. Me, come on. Mate, he was good for Millwall, but for Arsenal, he was like, wow, this guy. There was better players in non-league at that time.
Arsenal
but I think reputation boxed the whole thing off. There was four choices. I can't remember what they was, but reputation does box it all off. Obviously, when you're going to recruit a player, you find out a bit about them, what they're like, and stuff like that. But you don't pick a player who has more ability or has less ability than someone else just because their attitude's better. No.
They do, though. That's the problem. The problem with football.
Yeah,
that's
exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
You've got a lot of players who, if you go to like Championship, League One, League Two, even in the lower levels like Conference South, Conference North, and Ryman's, you've got some young kids who are technically so good, right? But they're not getting a sniff because you've got one other guy, and it's he knows the league.
Yeah. And his dad brings him over, and his dad puts a few quid into the club, and
it's 5 out of 10 minutes.
Mate.
Kicks the ball long.
Yeah, go away.
With all the ability, they don't want to put in. But anyway, sorry, we're drifting topic.
Yeah. I'm getting angry.
Bring it down a bit.
Yeah, that's the Islington boys in us coming out.
Gifton, there's a mutual friend of ours that's listening in, Rudy. He's saying, Gifty, don't even know that he's my Kenny Jackett. What a legend. So obviously he's talking about you and your Billericay days, which we'll get onto shortly as well. So I just wanted to shout out Rudy as well, man. Thanks for listening in.
Yes, Rudy. Yeah, Rootz. Oh, yes, Rudy.
Yeah.
Yes, Rootz.
He speaks about you so highly, man. So I know for sure he's listening in. So shout out to him.
That's my guy.
Look at that next comment about Jimmy Carter as well. I couldn't have used the worst example, could I? It's like the only ever time that a Jimmy Carter fan is watching and I flag Jimmy Carter off.
You killed yourself there, innit?
Oh my goodness.
Go back to your Watford times, Gifton. So who was playing there in amongst, like, who was you in and amongst at the time when you was at Watford, when you just arrived there? Like, talk to me about some of the names.
Right. So let me see some names. I'm gonna say some older names and some names that people would know. So you're talking about Devon White, Craig Ramage, Gary Porter, Andy Hessenthaler. They're the ones that people wouldn't know as much. Okay. David Connolly. Then you got Kevin Phillips. Everyone knows Kevin Phillips.
Yeah.
Big Kev, Jason Lee. Everyone knows Jason Lee. Ronnie Rosenthal.
Of course.
You know, the team was good. Tommy Smith. Like, the team was a good bunch of pros. You know.
So how was you feeling when you got into that team? Did you feel like, I'm levels, like I'm in and amongst these guys, or did you kind of get a bit nervous? Like, what was the feeling like?
You know, as I said before, right? Remember, I've been training with some of these boys for 2 years already, because when I was in school. So even though I was still the little man, I've been training with you, man, already. I know what you guys are about. I can handle you guys in training already, in my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I made the step up to the first team, it was just normal. It was just normal business, really. I was just playing football. Genuinely, when I was younger, I just played football. I just loved football and just went and played football. I wasn't in pain. I was free to play. Just football was fun. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It was every training session was a learning lesson. Every game was a time for me to learn and to pick up something different. So I just felt comfortable with them, and because they've known me as a little boy, I always used to pick up their kit for them and all that kind of stuff. So when I became part of the first team, I was doing the same jobs anyway, picking up their kit, doing the same jobs. So it was just as normal, really. What was the big thing for me, I suppose, was people outside. So you're talking about the fans, and you're talking about friends and people like that. So when you're in the training ground, I've known a lot of these guys for the last 3-4 years anyway. So that's quite new. I mean, that's quite the same. Kenny Jackett's there as the manager. That's the same. Like, Luther's there, Jimmy Gilligan's there. They're all the same. They're the guys that I've known for the last few years. Yeah. Now, when you go on the street and you go to a game and fans are asking you for autographs and fans are asking you for this and pictures, that's a little bit like, ooh. You see what I mean? Like, if Rudy will tell you when you speak to Rudy, I'm not that front guy. I don't mind you, because I'm quite lively when I'm talking. You might think I'm always like that. I'm quite reserved and quite thinking. I was like to think and just step back. So when you get put in a zone where you walk out of a room and everyone's just there wanting the autograph, it's like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that. Yeah. And then, if I was young now, trying to come through now, and I had to deal with Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff as a young 17-year-old, 16-year-old, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could. Yeah, I rate them.
Talk to me about their first professional game then. What was that like then? You know,
first game, right. So my first game was away at Sunderland.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of, obviously, you know, Roker Park back then was a place you don't play around at Roker Park. So yeah, I was lucky enough to play at Roker Park. I think 2 years before, for my district, we won the national district tournament. Yeah. And we played that one. The first leg was in Sunderland, and the second leg was at Highbury. So I played at Roker Park before, so I kind of knew the stadium and that. So that didn't really get me too crazy. But how it all came around was they had a cup game away at Sunderland, Coca-Cola Cup. So Kenny said to me, well, I'm going to put you in the squad. You're not going to play. You're like 17th man or whatever it was. You're not extras. There was, I think it was 3 subs back then. So it was 14th man, 14 players, and then 2 extra come for the journey. And I was the extra one after that. All right? Right. So I got no chance I'm going to get on the bench. I'm just there for the party, really, you know? That's it. Seriously. And I was on vibes then. I was buzzing. I was like a little bee, you know what I mean? On the trip all the way up, making everyone teas and coffees and buzzing around and whatever. So I get up there today, normal. Then I didn't know this because behind the scenes, there was players that got caught food poisoning. Right. I didn't know this. So they didn't share this with me.
Was it you?
No, I think it was my mum. I don't. Keep them. Yeah, I think, you know why? Because I saw her driving up. As far as I saw her on the motorway, but I wasn't sure. And it was her. She was her. Yeah, so what happened now is that the next day we come to the game, and I knew that one or two of the players weren't too well right now, but I weren't sure how these really work. So they named the team, and I was on the bench. So I was like, I think they got it wrong, innit? Like, I'm on the bench. So then Kenny went to me like, yeah, you're on the bench. So I was like, okay. So warming up, just enjoying it. I'm still thinking to myself, Wayne Andrews was on the bench, and I think Clint Easton was on the bench as well. And I'm thinking to myself, Wayne's a striker, he's older than me, so he's going to get on before me, so there's no chance I'm getting on. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I wasn't even thinking that I was going to get on. It was just, I was enjoying it. It was kind of funny for me. Like, my first experience, just going with it. And then it was losing. I think it was losing like 3-0 since the tie was gone. And I heard Luther and Kenny whispering. He said, yeah, get changed, you're going on. Me, like, I'm going on. Like, you're going on. So there was no time to really think about it, if that makes sense, because everything happened every stage happened so quick. Yeah. And then by the time I got on the pitch, I think I got the ball in the first 20 seconds of being on the pitch. I got the ball in the final third. I took on one player, went past another one, and Tony Colton come out and just got the ball before me before I was about to have a strike, right? And after that, I done that, I was like, this is easy. I've got this. This is so easy. You guys are so old and stiff. Oh, this is so easy. I swear, so after that, my confidence was just up there, you know, and then, you know, the life went on from there, you know, until a bad injury. But yeah, it was good.
And then when did you bag? When was the first time that you bagged?
I think I scored. I made my debut in September. I think I scored in the September. I think either September or the October, because I'm still the youngest goal scorer up to now.
Serious?
Yeah. So 20, 24, 25 years later, I'm still the youngest ever goal scorer for Watford. So yeah. So I'll take that. I'll take that one. Yeah. So it wasn't that far off after I made my debut, but that was against Blackpool. I remember the goal.
How long after was it till you? How many years was it till you got promotion? Because you was top goal scorer that promotion season as well, wasn't you, for Watford?
Yeah.
That must be a buzz. That must be buzzing. That.
You know, we got promoted.
Yeah.
So we went from League One, what it is now. We won League One, and then we went up to the Premiership via the playoffs.
That's when you was top scorer, wasn't it? When you went to the Premier League.
Yeah, that's
how much of a buzz was that?
If I'll be honest with you, right, so that year was a bit of twist year, because that's the year that I got injured.
Yeah.
So it was a bit of twist year that we got promoted, and that part of it was great. But then on the flip side, I was being told that I'm never going to play football again. So it was involved with the celebrations, but then there's a personal side of you that's still crying at that moment, you know?
Yeah. And what was the injury?
Well, we played against Sunderland, and we beat them 2-1 on the day, but I got a really bad tackle by Paul Butler, and he broke my kneecap. So when he broke my kneecap, within 2-3 days, I just gathered arthritis, and I couldn't even do this. Yeah, so I couldn't do that. I was basically paralyzed. Basically, I couldn't move around, I couldn't drive, I couldn't do nothing. So, because I've got rheumatoid arthritis, we went to loads of specialists. All the specialists said, listen, you're going to have to retire because no one plays with arthritis. It's impossible. They messed around with drugs. We tried steroid drugs. We tried this form of drug, that form of drug. For about a year, I was doing it, about 9 months to a year, and we didn't get nowhere. And what saved my life was my career, and my life as well, because if my career was over, my life would have been over at that point. Elton John saw an article in America of a drug called Embryo, and he contacted Graham Taylor and told the gaffer about this drug. And the gaffer said, well, we've got no money to really fund it. And then Elton John said, don't worry, I'll pay for it. So he paid for all my treatment, and they had me to fly over to Boston. So I went over there, got the treatment, started taking Embryo, and that's why I was able to still have a career until I was 30. It wasn't the career that maybe could have been, or maybe I would have wanted, and it was a really painful career. But I was able to play for another 11 years and have a career to talk about. Wow. Thank God for that. Wow. Yeah.
I've had a rheumatoid arthritis for 13 years now, and for you to play with that, I can't imagine, mate, because I can barely sometimes get from the chair to the fridge.
Yeah.
I'll get there because I'm determined to get there to that fridge. But for you to play with rheumatoid arthritis, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like playing a stone in your foot.
Play that off to you, mate.
You know, like imagine putting a pebble in your boot and then go and play a match. That's what it was like every day.
Yeah.
When I tell people this, they'll think I'm joking. They'll think I'm being soft. But now people are getting older now, and they're getting little arthritis in their knee or arthritis in their hand.
Yeah.
They're phoning me up saying, "Give, what'd you do for arthritis, mate?"
Yeah. Hey, I was talking to Clinton just before you come on about the same thing, and I've just been granted a blue badge for mine, and I'm like, yeah. I'm just going Tesco's just so I can use my blue badge.
I love it.
Conversation gone, bro. I don't know.
Gifton, tell me about your district side, the Islington side.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned a name earlier that took me way back as well, and he was such a player, Terry Bowes. What a player he was, mate. Bowesy.
The general.
Was that district side? Was Saji Burton in that side?
Nah, Saji was older than us. In our side was Lorenzo.
Right, Paolo Vanessa, maybe all that sort of age.
No, Paolo played for us for London, but not in our district.
Right.
Yeah, Alan McLeod.
Alan McLeod. Oh wow, what a player! See, that's who we used to play. We used to just go over Collins Field to like Alan McLeod and that, just playing free ball. Free ball. It was mental, mate.
Crazy.
What a player he was. Yeah.
That team was a good team.
Really. Jermaine Winter as well.
No. Jermaine's older as well.
Yeah, older than you, isn't he? Yes, he's younger than me, older than you. Yeah. Sorry, Clint. We're going on that.
I was still stuck on, like you said, basically Elton John basically saved your career, man. That's the something in itself. That's a crazy story in itself. But you still got that. You said 11 years after that, you went abroad, played in Spain. So talk to us about that, man.
Playing in Spain, man.
Come on.
Listen, I encourage. Right now, my son, who's 22, he's out playing in Spain right now. Right? Part of the reason why he's out there is because I think he's heard me talk about my experience and what he's done for me as a person, as a dad, as a footballer, as a coach, as a everything. You know, living in a different culture, living out there, understanding it, playing over there, it taught me so many different lessons, you know, just lessons of life, lessons of mixing with other people, lessons of being uncomfortable in your surroundings and how you can still be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation and make it really comfortable. There's so many things I just learned a new language and getting thrown in the deep end, and you thinking everyone's going to speak English and you're getting out there and realizing that, nah, it's not so simple. It's to learn the language. Playing-wise was great for me because my first club, Real Murcia, we got promoted that year. So it was basically a party. You know, it was just win every game, celebrate on the coach, Training ground mood was perfect. You know, we got promoted and it was great. Then I went to my second team, Elche, and they never paid me. So yeah. So no, I got a bit of the money back eventually from FIFA and stuff about 4 years later. But yeah, they didn't pay me, so I lost a lot of money over there. But the experience I had while I was out there, I wouldn't change it for the world, if that makes sense. And I would have stayed out there until I retired if it wasn't for the fact that one club stung me and I didn't want to give another club the chance. Yeah. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that's why I came back. But otherwise, I would have stayed there for the rest of my career because the football out there is it's hard to explain. I personally feel that most of the football in England, Premiership is quite tactical, but Championship down is tactical, but it's just more about who can outmuscle the other one and be more aggressive than the other one and all that kind of stuff. When you play in Spain, it genuinely is about which manager can out-tactic the other manager. Mm. We have this style of playing, you have that style of playing, let's see what we do. And it's not of, you guys play football, so we're going to kick you and stop you from playing and lump it. And no, you guys play one type of football, we're going to show we play a different type of football. So our football is going to beat your football. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. Every single game was a footballing match. Do you understand what I mean? It's a footballing match where your brain's intact. You have to think about the game. Everything you do, every movement you have to think about. People think that Spanish football is free-flowing and players just get the ball and do what they want. But it's not like that. In Spain, it's very restricted. When the ball's here, you have to be there and you have to do this. And then when the ball goes there, you have to go here. And then you have to go there when the ball's there. And like it's certain movements. It's like almost like NBA almost.
Is it like a bit like, it sounds like chess almost. Do you know what I mean? Chess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Really. Then when you get to the final third, you can be free and do what you want. But the first two thirds, it had to be very structured. This is what you have to do. But I loved it because every time the midfielder got the ball, I knew he was going to do.
Yeah.
When the wide man got it, I knew he was going to do. So he had a couple options. If he's going to open up, if the man blocks off this one, he's going to do this. If he blocks off that, then he's going to do that. So he's got 3 options. So I know that for me to get the ball, I'm option 1. So if he blocks off option 1, I know I can just chill for 5 or 6 more seconds because he's going to have a play option 2, option 3. If that makes sense.
Wow. That's next level coaching.
Yeah, he's not going to force it in there. He's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why Spanish managers or managers that manage in Spain have so much joy when they come out of Spain? Like if you look at all the Spanish managers that have come over to England or all the managers that have managed in Spain and come back over to England, do you feel that's the reason why they have so much joy? Because they've got so much knowledge and they're like levels above us or the English managers as a whole?
You know, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even say it's lack of knowledge, if I'll be honest with you. I think it's a different environment. So what it is when in Spain, they want to see good football. That's what they want to see. That's what the fans want to see. That's what the president wants to see, right? So if you have a good style of play, but you lose a few games, he'll stick with you because your style of play is correct. The fans will still back you because your style of play is correct. They know everyone's not Barcelona and Real Madrid. So for that reason, they know they're not going to win the league. They want to see good football. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? But then in England, for example, you might get a Newcastle, for example, right? Newcastle, right? They're never going to win. They're never going to win the league, are they? Newcastle, right?
Why are you doing this, man? Why are you doing this?
No, but they shouldn't really get relegated.
It's Newcastle.
No. So let's be real. They're not going to win the league, but they shouldn't really get relegated.
Yeah,
right? They should play some good, attracting football, so the fans enjoy it, and the fans know they're going to come every week and watch a great game of football. And when they lose, they lose, and when they win, they win. But they know they're not going to win the league. If on a good season, they might get into Europe or something like that. If they're flying, they might have a couple good cup runs, but they know they're not going to win the league. So really and truly, don't get relegated and make the fans happy, right? But instead, in England, you play boring football. The fans are unhappy, the players are unhappy, but just to survive, it don't make no sense. So Steve Bruce wants to play attractive football, but he knows if he gets the ball down and he bounces it a little bit, and John Joe don't chase the runner back, and then they lose 2 games, he might lose his job, hypothetically.
If only. Sorry, but if only. Anyway.
Like Leeds United. Leeds United play that way, don't they? They just play. They know they're going to get shut down.
That's what I'm saying. Managers are either Spanish or played in Spain or managed in Spain. They kind of this way of thinking.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that in Spain they get that time. So when they come to another country, that's my philosophy. This is what I'm doing. So they make it clear to the board. If an English manager says to the board, I want to play this type of football and I want to do this, but I might lose sometimes, but give me 20 games to get it right. After 5 games, he's gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I don't think it's down to knowledge myself for the managers that I've played with, because I think I've played with managers that have the knowledge. I think it's a fair factor.
Who would you say is the best manager that you played under?
The best manager has got to be Graham Taylor. He's got to be the best manager. Like he was telling me stuff in 1996, 97 that people are just starting to talk about now like it's brand new news.
Wow.
It's crazy. Some of the stuff he would tell me how I'm going to score my goals. So he would say, you score your goals from this, when the ball's in this area and this player has it, if you get yourself in these areas, you'll score. If when the ball's in this area and this player has it, he'll always put the ball in this area, you'll score. And I swear on my life, 9 out of 10 times, when I knew what player it was, I'll put myself in roughly in the area where the gaffer told me, and that person will deliver the ball in roughly that area. Whether I score or not, that's down to luck, ability, whatever else. But I'm in the right area. I'm not in the near post when the ball's gone back post. Do you understand? His awareness of players and football and formations and weaknesses, and like he would say to me, all right, the left back, you play right wing when I first started. So he would say the left back loves to run forward, but he doesn't love to run back. So run with him when he runs forward, right? But then when as soon as we get it, just sprint forward. He won't run back with you. Like silly things like that, you know? So I'll just run. And then before I know it, I'm in. I'm in on goal. Like, but I didn't know this myself. The game myself, but Graham Taylor told me this. Like his attention to detail was different. Like when you press, you have to press and block off this angle, so the midfielder can press and block off this angle, and then the other guy will press and block off that angle, and then we'll probably win the ball over there. I swear on my life, 9 out of times, I do my job and they do their job, we win the ball over there, bro. And then they'll say, when we win the ball over there, if you run over there, you will score or we'll get a chance. I swear on my life. It was almost like he was like a psych. He was a psych. So he would just philosophize the game before it happened. So during the week, he'd be telling me all the things that's going to happen during the game. And then on a Saturday, if I'd done what he said, that's exactly what would happen.
Just bring some of that, just bring some of these stuff into your coaching now.
Oh, 100%. You know, me personally, when I coach, I have to give detail. You know, I think the details is massively important. Rudy will tell you guys, like, I'm detailed.
He said that as well. Like, he says now people watching who join my sessions understand why I believe on so much on details. Hours of convo with Gifty makes you study the movements. He literally just said the same thing.
Yeah, I'm infatuated with detail, you know, because I think that's the difference between the top players and the players that are playing a little bit lower. Sometimes they can all do the same with the ball, but it's whether you take attention to those little things of detail or not. You know, so when I'm coaching, I like to give that to the players and also give the players ownership. I think that when I played in Spain, they were very good at just, this is what we do, you guys go and do it. So we had ownership, had to just adjust things if we have to, because, you know, you might say do this, but the game says something different at the time. So I'll give my players ownership that, yeah, you can do, you've got 3 or 4, 5, 6 options to do what you kind of want to do, but it has to be in the same ethos, the same philosophy of the team. You know?
Yeah.
What about players? Like, who's one of the best players that you played with and against?
Right. Against, I've got to say, again, you got to say the big Ronaldo, the real Ronaldo. Yeah, a friendly game, played Inter Milan.
Yeah,
and that he's the best. He's the best. Yes, that's. When you play it on the same pitch as him, then you know it. He's the best. The best player I played with. Right, I would say Kevin Phillips is the best player I played with on a regular basis.
Yeah.
and learnt from on a regular basis. But Michael Owen was the best player I played with.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, don't mess with Michael Owen back in the days before the injuries.
Was that for England? Was that for England under 18s?
Yeah, for England. Yeah, don't mess with Michael Owen when he's younger. Don't listen. Don't. I played his career with the hamstring injuries and so on. All of us had a few injuries, but when he was amazing.
I'll tell you what. This is the level of guests that we get on this show. Okay.
I mean,
So you're the second person to say that R9 is the toughest player they've played against, and you're the second person to say that Michael Owen is the best player they've played with, and that was Emil Heskey a couple of weeks ago. Exactly the same. He said exactly the same thing.
Look at that.
Exactly the same two choices.
But you know what now? So I'm going to tell you a little story now, and you might think I'm giving you a little story, but I'm going to give you a little thing I want to think about this. So when I played with Michael Owen with the under 18s, he loved me. What I mean, loved me is that he loved big man. He loved to play with a big man, and we smacked it off. So I got called up for the under 21s because he got called up for the 21s. He didn't score for a couple of games, so he was complaining, and he said, "Get Gifton to come up to the 21s." Right? So I got called up. That's when I got my injury. Right?
Oh.
I never played for the 21s. Now, I want you to think about the story going forward. Michael Owen got to Liverpool. They bring in Heskey.
Yeah.
All right. I bust before Heskey.
That could have been you, mate.
Right. You see what I'm saying? You see it?
Oh my God.
Yeah, right? You see it?
oh man,
Mate, Butler, I'm surprised you ain't man Butler's house every night.
I've got a couple of goals for him, man.
Oh, mate.
Right.
But you ain't had a bad career, though. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a fantastic career.
So, getting back to what Coach was saying about coaching and management, like, talk to us about that. Yeah. So, your last club, or you still currently at Billericay, or is that finished now?
No, that's finished now. Yeah, that's finished. Yeah.
Just talk to us about that situation, how that came about. Because obviously, I've heard it from Rudy's side, and his side is amazing. Like, I always get inspired every time I hear his side of it. But talk to us about how you kind of linked up with Jamie and brought Rudy in as well.
Oh, yeah. So basically, Jamie was going through his coaching badges. So part of my job is a coach educator. So I help with a lot of ex-pros, and when they're going through their coaching badges, help them going from player to coach, basically. So that's part of my job. So Jamie O'Hara was one of our badges for his level 2. And then he came onto the B license as well, and he done his B license with us. So I was his mentor. So he said to me, "Giff, if I get a job, would you come in with me? Because I like the way you think, I like the way you are, and stuff like that. Can you come in and help me out?" So when he got the job at Billericay, he said, "Giff, can you come in and I need your help, kind of thing. Can you come in and be with me?" And so I done it. And then I've known Rudy for a good number of years now, good number of years now, since we met. And I was like, you know what? Rudy's the kind of person that he needs to get a chance. He needs to be in the right environments. And I thought, realistically, and I don't mean this disrespectful towards Rudy or nothing, but no one ain't going to invite him in. You know what I mean? They're not going to invite him in. So I'm in. So I'm going to invite him in. So I just got Rudy involved, and he done great stuff. He was part of our coaching team. He helped with the analysis stuff as well. He helped with so much stuff, and he was just, for me, he made our bench diverse as well. You know, you got a black guy, Asian guy, a white guy. You know, you got a female on the bench. It made it more diverse. So I thought it was a good look for what the modern day look of football should be. You know, doesn't matter who's manager, who's physio, who's assistant manager, but it should be a bit more diverse. I feel so. You look on the football pitch, diverse. So why can't the bench be a bit more diverse? So that was a nice little journey. You know, I left once COVID hit, and I was going to be there for the rest of the season. But once COVID hit and the season ran out, then, you know, Jamie's still my guy. I'm still helping him through his coaching journey. But I feel that, you know, when you're working with someone and someone's trying to find themselves as a manager, they've got to find themselves as a manager. You know, and I think when it was a bit of conflict because I was his mentor, but also his assistant manager as well. So it was good to step away from the assistant manager stuff and then just continue to be his mentor and to be his friend. So yeah, I done that. And right now with me, I've got most of my licenses. So I've got my A license right now. I'm starting my pro license in March. So once I have my pro license in 2 years' time, I'll have what is equivalent to the best license that all the managers have and everyone has. So my coaching journey and my life, I want to be a manager. You know, I think I've got the temperament for it. I think I'm good with people. I think I can got a good understanding of football. I think I've got empathy where I could relate to my players and relate to my environment. And I'm a serious man about football. You know, me watching videos 24 hours a day, that don't bother me. That's what I do anyway. I watch videos just for the sake of it. I'm that sad. So I believe I can do a job. Now, being real to you, I think I will have to go to America to do it.
I was going to say that from listening to this, we've been 45 minutes in. I don't think you're going to have a job over here for some reason. I've got a funny feeling you're either going to be in Spain somewhere, living life, or you're definitely going to be abroad, because I can't see it here. I don't know why, but I'm just getting this vibe it's going to be abroad.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be here either, I'll be honest with you. I think I would like it to end here. I would like it to end here, but I don't think it'll start here. I think if I went to America, what I like about America is that because there's no promotion and relegations, they believe in the project, right? So your manager's not going to get sacked after 5-6 games because that's not part of the project. The project ends at the end of the season. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, or the project ends after 2 years. So in America, you might get someone and say, well, we're bottom of the league now, but in 3 years, I want to win it. So I want to finish 8th next year, 6th the year after, 4th the next year, and the next year I want to win it. So now you've got a little target for that. Over here, say, I want to win the league in 3 years, and you get sacked after 2 months. So I mean, you can't ever pull it off. So I feel that maybe the best place for me is to go abroad, go to America, go to one of the Scandinavian islands, go to Spain. I'm willing to travel. I don't mind traveling, so I'll go and do that. Get my apprenticeship as a manager, and then if I do well enough, I think I could come back to maybe League 1, League 2 level, and then build myself up to get to the Premiership. Because I want to be, I'm not going to lie, I want to be a Premiership manager. Now, if I look at myself right now, genuinely, and think, Gif, can you get it? No, it's way out of my reach. Way out of my reach, what I can genuinely see through opportunities and stuff like that. But if I don't dream for something, I won't be no one. Like when I was a kid, I was 5 years old and I had a dream that I want to be a footballer. I didn't think that 5-year-old was ever going to play in the Premier League, but guess what? He did it. So why can't I? I might not be a manager in the Premier League, but I might be a first team coach in the Premier League. I've still reached my dream to a certain degree.
You played in the States as well, didn't you? So have you still got contacts out there? You still got contacts in America? Yeah,
I speak to a few people out there, and I lived out there for 5 years. So I finished playing, I still stayed there for another 4 years. So I still speak to people out there, and I'm still in contact with what's going on out there and what the latest trends are and stuff. So I try and keep myself relevant, and I still speak. There's a lot of kids who I coach, so you can imagine it's 11 years, 10 years now. Yeah, so some of the kids I coached, they were 13, 14. Now they're 23, 24, got kids, and they're contacting me now, and they're asking me about their future and stuff like that. So it's really nice. Got really good links in not only in England but in America as well. So it's nice.
Yeah. Mate, I'd love nothing more than to see you succeed as a manager in the Premier League. That'd be unreal. Because you speak well. You've obviously got the experience. You've got your badges. You've got everything in your locker. So why not? You know what I mean? Why not? It's time. It's time.
I appreciate it.
You've got Rudy saying that he's packing his bags already. So he's ready to join you as well. So
Rudy was going to come and work with me first. You need to wait.
He's bobbed you off. He's bobbed you off.
You know the American, he's like, I'm sold. Like, I'm gone.
I think maybe we have to work together. Maybe there's a threesome going on here. Maybe we get rid of O'Hara. We get rid of O'Hara.
Yeah, Jamie's gone. Don't worry.
But yeah, no, I would love to see you in the Premier League, and maybe like, surely you could get something with Watford, kind of come full circle. No, is there a possibility of working with Watford?
Well, this is. I was actually doing a podcast yesterday, and I don't want people to think that I'm trying to get a job or something. But I was saying to them that I love the club, right? And I truly love Watford. Truly, anyone who knows me knows I love Watford, right? And I'm thinking about the club long term, and I'm thinking, all right, Troy Deeney and Ben Foster they've been the two really that have really kept the tradition of Watford as a club going over these last years, because the rest of the players have been like a revolving door in and out.
Yeah.
Right? And it's hard to really ask foreign players to come over fresh and to really know the culture of a club and to uphold the culture of the club. So my thing was this: new managers are coming in and out all the time. So imagine if I was part of the first team staff, not the first team manager, just the first team coach. I could be the link that when a new manager comes in, he knows the culture. The players have someone who is regular, always there, who knows the culture, someone who can relate to the fans as well, who the fans like, who talk to the fans as well. That will always almost be like Mr. Watford almost. So we know that no matter what manager's coming in and out, we've got Mr. Watford there. Do you know? That would be a dream job for me. It's never going to happen, but that would be like a dream job.
You never know. You never know. Elton John watches this program as well.
Listen, we'll get Elton to speak to our people. Our people speak to Elton.
Exactly. Job done.
Oh, man. I respect that. Got a message in here from Coach Joe Lammy. Shout out to you, bro. He's just saying this is refreshing to hear coaches not afraid to step out of their comfort zone and test themselves in a different environment. So yeah, I think more coaches need to do that as well. You know, we're getting a few players starting to do it, but more coaches and managers need to do that because there's opportunities out there. I mean, if you only got to look at Michael Johnson, who we had on last week, in fact, who obviously ended up managing for the guy, national squad. So yeah, it's a possibility.
You know, right now I'm working with the Grenadian Football Association. We're working on just helping them with the quality of coaching in Grenada and stuff like that. And these are all things that I just feel to myself, unless you get yourself out there, it's not going to come to you. You know, and I don't want to start a race argument, but especially as a black man with a gold tooth and dreadlocks, and who is quite common like myself, the way I look, I feel that I have to get myself out there so people actually know me. Because I feel once you know me, how I look and the colour of me doesn't mean nothing. I'm just Gifton. But if you don't know me, you see me on the street walking towards you, you might think, oh, who's that guy? Does that make sense? I'm being honest. No, I'm being honest. I'm being real. So I ask myself, why me being out there in the public eye, out there talking to people, talking to CEOs, talking to owners, talking to agents, talking to people who have respectable positions, then you can judge me for who I am. Judge me for the guy who I am. Judge me for my work. If you watch me coach, judge me for that. If you watch me talk about football, judge me for that. And that's why I try to put myself out there to as much as possible, just like the others. And people like Michael Johnson, who like done so well with Guyana, people like that are like they're leading the line for us, you know, to go forward, because they're the people that are saying, don't judge me for who I, just judge me for what I do. If that makes sense, you know, not judge me for who I am or what colours my skin is, you know.
Yeah. You mentioned your son earlier. Like, how's he going? What sort of advice were you passing on to him?
Yeah, you know what? If I'm honest, it's been a journey with my son, and my younger son as well is going through a journey. He's a bit younger, but it's a journey because for these youngsters coming up now, it's really hard. It's not as clear cut as it was when I was coming up. You know, back in the days, if you're good, you'll get in the team. If you're good, someone else will want you. When now the market is overpopulated with players. So just like myself, he was over here playing. He was at Watford, then he was at Oxford, and he wanted to get into men's football. But men's football meant him being twice a week, training twice a week, playing Conference South football. And he done one season of it, and he done his head in because he said, Dad, I love football and I want to train every day. I miss training every single day. So that's why he went to Spain. So he's signed for a club in Spain. And just for the fact he wants to train every single day. He wants to train every day. He wants to be able to develop every day. He wants to be able to do extras after training, develop as a man, develop as a footballer. So he's going through his little journey right now. And I believe in the next 2 years, you're gonna hear of him. In the next 2 years, you're gonna hear the name Gifton Noel-Williams. You're gonna say, that's Gifton's son. Yeah, in the next 2 years.
Steps then, you said, son, get yourself over to Spain. Love it.
Yeah, you know, it was the opportunity come up, and because I went to Spain, he's not shy of it. So he's very open to do other things because he's like, well, Dad, if you done it, and like you done it, and you're like me, I'm like you. So if you done it, I can do it, kind of thing. So he's out there and he's just enjoying it. He's learning the language, he's picking it up, he's learning a different way of playing football, loving it as well. So yeah, he's having fun. So we'll see where his journey goes.
No, I love that. Love that. Okay.
Yeah, it's been good. It's good that some of the things that you talk about, your ethos and your philosophies are. I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but it's similar to what I feel as well. Because when you're in, so that I'm in a role now, and if I see people that deserve a chance, I love to get them in and bring them on board and let them come on that journey with you. Yeah. And I just think that's an amazing thing to do. And like we said earlier before, if someone like you to go on and manage in the Premier League, that will just, it'll just be such an amazing thing, not only for the Premier League, but for football in general. Just start a president, set a president, and just be quality. And it'd do me proud as well, because we go back to our Islington days at Corrams. We used to be on the same. We used to banging goals together at Corrams.
Headers and volleys, 60 seconds.
You know that. In the stanchion as well. The stanchion, didn't they, at Corrams?
Yeah. We love that one.
I want to see it come full circle for you, man. I want you to, like you said, I think there's a role for you at Watford. And again, going back to earlier what we said about, you started playing for Watford against Sunderland. Yeah. But it kind of ended for you, you said, against Sunderland as well with your knee. But then again, for you to come back again, I reckon, then to the story, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Listen, Watford's my club. I love the club, and for me to be involved with the first team as a first team coach and be at Watford, coming out every Saturday is a pleasure for me to be in front of the fans again. To even just to be able to honour the club that gave so much to me. For me to give back would be a pleasure, But we'll wait and see. I don't know. I've got my targets, and I've said. We're talking about me managing the Premier League. Now, that might not be for another 10 years. That might be 20 years from now. Who knows what my journey is going to be. But I'm so up for the journey. And I just love life so much that whatever comes my way, I'm just going to take it and smile with it and ride with it and just enjoy it. Because, I feel blessed, because I feel that God has blessed me so far in my life through the ups and downs. And I'm not trying to give a sad story of my injuries and stuff, because I thank God that I still had a career. So I still feel there's so much more in front of me to go and get, so I'm going to go get it.
I don't see why not, mate. Don't see why not.
Rudy's saying that his son's going to be playing League One minimum in next 2 years, so high hopes for your boy there. And again, Gerald Lammy saying, need more people like Gifton in the pro setup, someone that youngsters can relate to when they're coming through the system. So again, they're getting a lot of love.
Thank you, Coach Lammy. Appreciate that.
Nah, but Gifton, again, thank you for joining us, man. I really appreciate this time, bro. And listening to your story, inspiring as well, man. I really, really do appreciate that. And again, I really want to see you do well now. So we're going to be looking out for you in the future, man, to see where you're going to move to as well. And if you move over to the States, man, just, if you need someone to speak to, get over there.
You're coming over, yeah?
Yeah. Do it for Islington.
Sorry, what's that? Sorry?
Do it for Islington. Do us proud.
Exactly. You know that all the time. I'm always representing. Always.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Nice speaking to you.
You take care, all right? All right,
Nice one.
Take care. Bye-bye.